Well, I decided to do something different today. I'm going live, and it's just sort of impromptu. I didn't even know I was going to do this until about 20 minutes ago. But what I'm doing is trying to put up the old Christmas tree that we've had around here well over 40 years, and it's always an issue. But Michigan State is playing a basketball game tonight, and Mrs. G's gone, and I figured I'll just get this done. Usually we do it together. The hardest part, though, is putting on the lights. That I won't do myself. So the first thing I'm going to do is hang up this photograph or this picture. But before I do that, can you see back there? That empty space is where it goes. But I have to put some batteries in it first. I think I can sit here. Drop this little drawer. Takes 3 AA batteries. Just got done from being outside, so I was sniffing a little bit. All right, put the cover back on, maybe. And let's see if it works. Somewhere there's a switch. A switch. Ah, and there it is. All right, so we hang that up. How's that? Does that look straight? Probably can't tell. Good enough. We'll end up knocking it over. Now, just to let you know, I do have a little libation here. This is a very mild Manhattan. It's really a before dinner drink, but we like to sip on them as we put up the Christmas tree and the lights and stuff. Ooh, that's tasty. I got to go out in the garage and get some pieces. I'll be back in a second. Yeah, this is the tippy top. I got to get a whole bunch more. That's for sure. Hello, Richard. Who do we have here? Gary, how are you? Oh, wow. I'm glad you're able to see this thing. It ain't too exciting, I'll tell you that. I just got back from the casino and donated my 20 bucks. So I figure I better come home and make Mrs. G happy by putting up her tree. Thanks for stopping by, Gary. I got to get some more stuff here. I know last time we put this up, we were trying to figure out how many years we had this silly thing. This metal is so fatigued, I'm sort of wondering if it's, as you can, oh no, I think one just broke off. Oh, well, that's the way it goes. Sort of at a loss of where to put all this stuff. Now I've already had to move furniture around. I vacuumed the rug. So she'll be happy with that. She doesn't have to do that. All right, this is the last of the branches. Oh, let's see what's going on here. I sure do have to keep her happy. She's got all the money. Whew. All right, here are the innards to the tree. The base, and then this end of the pole. Of course, if you notice, that's not really this. That big piece right there is not supposed to be on there. It actually broke away from the bottom part, but it still works. But you would think after doing this for 40 some years, you would remember that you have to put this piece on first. Open up. Open up. Open up. Come on. You can do it. Oh, that's what you get for doing something live stream. You get it jammed. Yeah, it's got to go on this way. Meanwhile, while I'm playing around with this thing, a little bit of a weather report. Yesterday, I went out for a bike ride. I did a video on it, a short one. I'll post it here in a couple days. It was 56 degrees. For November, that's like exceptionally warm. This morning, and I think right now, 27 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's crazy weather. A week or so ago, we had snow. We were lucky we didn't get a lot of snow here, but they got inundated with one of those freakish November snowstorms. Here we got basically nothing, but if you went 2 miles north of here, and I'll show this in a video, they had probably 3 or 4 inches of snow. And if you went east of here, a ton of snow. Now, if you see that little piece of tape that's on here, yeah, 2 years ago, we discovered, if we put this down, the branches come closer together and we don't have to spread them out so much. And it sort of fits in our tiny little house here. You would have thought we would have figured that out a long time ago. All right. That don't look safe. Okay. All right, let's see if anybody else has popped up here. I don't know why on YouTube they make the picture so big. I really don't need to see me. And they make the print over here so doggone small. I need a magnifying glass to read it. Well, I'll be honest with you. Going live makes me nervous too. In fact, I was shaking when I was typing it in, but once you get going, nobody cares if you're making mistakes or not. So we'll see. 99% of the people that are going to watch this are going to watch it after the fact. All right. Here's the next part. We take these branches and they have little hooks right there. And these hooks have to slide into these little slots. Whoa. Yeah, I told you that didn't look safe. And then we have to balance everything out. That's upside down. That's right side up. Now, what in the world is going on with this thing? Shit, put them. Come on, baby. And I don't mean baby. Was that on upside down? No, that was right. That was right. Oh, well, here we go again. There we go. You know, we've been looking for new Christmas trees for the last 5 years. You think we could agree on anything? Not quite. The ones that we found are too big around, which in this little house won't fit, or they're like 9 foot high and we have 8 foot ceilings. In fact, even this one was too tall. As you can see, I sort of lopped off the top of it. And we put our little star up there. I'm gonna come over here. Put another one of these in. He's got a lot of holes in it, I know. And this is the one with the broken branch. Boy, I think I have to stick that one in the back. Put that one back here. That way, the only person who sees it is Mrs. G and myself. And I'll put this one back here, keep things balanced up. Into the slot, come on, here you go. Oh, no, that one's not broken, but it's looking close. Where does this one go here? There's a spot. Yeah, just a comedy of errors. Aha, last piece. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? All right, all those branches are in there. But we have this little spot here where there's a pole. And so what you're supposed to do is take these and wrap them around the pole. And that sort of covers up the pole. They just sort of slide on like that. I thought about playing Christmas music, and I said, I'm not sure that's a good idea. You get a copyright strike doing a silly live stream like this. It'd be like nuts. So All right, that looks pretty good. And I think we have a few more that we put down here at the bottom. I saved one. Nah, I can't juggle either. I think, like I said before, the hardest part of this, once we get the branches spread out, is putting the doggone lights on it. And we can never remember which strand of lights starts from the top and goes down, or did we start from the bottom and go up? Which ones did we use where? Some are 50 lights, some are 100 lights. And Mrs. G, I think, normally writes everything down. Why she doesn't write this down on this tree, I don't know. For me, well, what's wrong with that? Okay, I think I'll just have a libation here and take a break for a second. Whew. So far, we'll get that hole plugged up. Oh, you know what? I probably should put the roof on. Yeah, let's do that. That's got a funky little, there we go. And then what you do is you just bring these down, fluff them up, so to speak. I think I got it in the right spot too. I don't know, I have a chair over here I have to move back. That will, yeah, I said I vacuumed everything, so. What is wrong with that? And I always use one of these up here around the pole at the top. There. And these go up. And then all we do is spread the branches out like this. You know, I'm not sure. However I do this, somebody else is going to come home and tweak it. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But we can do a little bit anyway. And if we have to, we can actually move these branches around. By the time you put ornaments and stuff on it, nobody's really looking at all those little holes and things in there. And talk about ornaments. Oh my gosh. I think we have 5 boxes of ornaments, of which maybe one will go on that tree. Some of them are pretty antique too. They've been around for a long time. Oh man, that one looks like it's going to break off. Okay, it's looking more like a tree. Like I said, we've had this. We actually bought this in St. Joseph, Michigan. When we first moved here, they had one of those, Christmas stores that are open for like maybe middle of November till Christmas. And we picked it up. Boy, back in the day, it might have been $140 or $150, which in those days are pretty expensive. Nowadays, they're unaffordable. I mean, and then you can't find one to fit in this little house. So we've been struggling looking. Yeah. I know there's one branch in the back that we'll have to spread out here. So there. I see we got a couple holes there, but we can fill those in by moving the tree around, the branches around a little bit. And this thing right here, we can cover that up. Like I say, we usually put, I very seldom ever put ornaments on the tree. Mrs. G does all that, but she's got really big ornaments that tend to fill in holes like that. She's pretty much an expert. By the time she gets done with the tree, it always looks pretty good. So I haven't heard the kids complain much either, because mostly what they look at are the presents underneath. My stupid mouse, what's going on here? Whew. We got somebody else here. Brandy Hill? Brady Hill. Anyway, hello. Thank you for saying it's a nice tree. It's definitely old, as I've been explaining here. Yeah, fill in that. Come on, sit down there. Yeah, I think Mrs. G will be happy to see this when she gets home. So, what in the world here? Brady Hill. Is that it? Am I saying that right? Usually, when I work on the computer, my glasses are off, and I have a magnifying glass, and I don't have my hearing aids in either. Okay, well, that's enough for right now. Mrs. G will be home later, and we'll straighten out the rest of this. I'm going to turn this just a little bit. So this chair has to go in that slot. So we move this around here. Get in there. And this table we sort of adjust. That's good enough for now. Put the lamp back on the table. And I don't want to break this little lamp with the lampshade. I'll get in trouble. I'll let her put that back on. All right. And then you can see we had to move. We usually have two chairs over here. That one we moved over here, and the chair that was here is in the garage. It's like musical chairs. The other thing we do, which actually is pretty smart when I think about it, we rotate the chairs. Since this chair used to be in this spot, this chair will now go to this spot. So every year we're rotating the chairs. Normally I'll sit over there. Mrs. G will sit over here most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, that picture back there, I put that up now because it's sort of hard to get back there once we put the tree. And one year I forgot, and I'm knocking ornaments off, and I got the batteries in. It's nice and bright because I put new ones in instead of the old used ones. Cheers, by the way. Anyway, I'm rambling. Whew. Yeah, did I tell you about the weather? Windy, windy, windy. I don't think I've ever seen a November this windy here. Um, Yesterday, the bike ride, I was hard to pedal into the wind, but the worst part was when you went perpendicular to it and the wind is hitting you from the side. I rode a half a mile on the highway. Thank goodness they've resurfaced the highway. We have a nice wide, I would say at least 5 foot shoulder now. And pretty much cars still went over into the other lane, give me some room. But I did 15 miles and I thought my legs were going to fall off because you're just constantly fighting, keeping your balance, trying to, and I would say half of the distance was into the wind. So, and I'm not getting any younger. That's for sure. Anyway, see if anybody else has stopped by here. You know, I should just go get the magnifying glass. I don't have to look like a dummy. Uh, there's a there's a story behind this magnifying glass. It's sort of interesting because the grandkids were here and they like to play with it. Um, and all of a sudden, it was nowhere to be found. Absolutely, we looked everywhere. Probably, in fact, we even went out and bought a new one. I think it's been missing for a few years. Anyway, let me show you where I found it. This will take a second. All right. I made this little project for Mrs. G a few years ago, actually, quite a few years ago, for her birthday. The stand and this and just the bare house came together. And I added the platform, I made the fence, I made all the shingles and stapled them on. This is actually shingle on the roof. And then I put these flowers down here. Well, lo and behold, I have to tilt this down a little bit. Lo and behold, this little flower pot finally came unglued. So I was ready to glue it in, and I'm looking at something strange. Yeah, guess where I found it? The grandkids must have been, you can't see them now. I'll have to open it up and show you, but you can't see them now. But they must have been looking at something and it dropped in there and they left it. We literally years before I found it, and I found it strictly by accident. Now, if we go back here, I made this little door. It sort of pops open. It's hard, but it pops open. And you can't see in there. Oh, jeez. That helps. But anyway, the grandkids like to harvest the crops. There are little beads that fit on all these flowers. There's a couple on here. They like to pull them off, put them in the bucket, and there's quite a few in the birdhouse. So we'll close that up. Yeah, that's where I found the magnifying. You know what? I should put it back in there. It would drive Mrs. Getter a little bit nuts. Nah, I better not. We do something though. See this little monkey character? We were playing bingo with the grandkids. It's sort of a family game we play. And I actually won a bingo game, and I picked this as my prize. Yeah. And so what I did was I hung it on the lamp. And Mr. G were not too impressed that this thing was hanging in our living room on a lamp. And so the next time I hung it in the kitchen where she found it, up on one of the mugs. And then I moved it to a different spot. And then she moved it on me. She moved it to the back of this. And that's how I went, as I saw it, I went to move it. And that's how I realized that the vase came unglued. And that's how I found this. And now I think I'm going to put this on the Christmas tree. I'm wondering, just absolutely wondering, if she'll leave it there. I should put it up high. There we go. He monkeying around in the tree. You're not going to be able to see him, but that's where he's at. He's in the tree. Well, she'll see that right off, but I guess it'll be my turn to find it. Let me get this thing out of here. Get it back where it belongs. Okay, well, hopefully I haven't bored you all too much to death. The tree is, probably have to move it over this way to the right a little bit. I always want to make sure we have a little bit of space to get into the kitchen without knocking it over. But it'll look nice when we get the ornaments and the lights on it. Anyway, I guess that's about it. Don't have anything else to say. I probably should maybe flip on the TV and watch some YouTube videos. Uh-oh. I better put that back in the bucket. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks you, Gary. Ready? I think that's it. I got to look at it. See what I used to do is just use this like this and then, yeah, that's it. Nice tree. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. And what do they always say at the end of videos? Like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. And I'll see you in a couple of videos a little bit later on in the week or at the beginning of next week. Hi. Now, the hard part is finding my mouse again so I can shut this thing off. Here it says end stream. Do you want to end the stream? I guess I will. Maybe.